Hari Om. Let's start with a prayer. Om Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakhat Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are looking at why Advaita from a scientist's perspective, and we discussed what is Maya and what is Avidya. Are they same or are they different? And if you associate Maya, Avidya in terms of covering the ignorance covers the knowledge, and Avidya, the Maya, Avidya the covering, and Vikshepa Shakti comes from the projection, and projection involves a mind. Mind itself is not created by Jiva. Mind is due to Ishvara creation. So one can say it is Maya is from the Ishvara, is Maya Shakti also. And what he projects can be dictated by the local mind when I am projecting a snake instead of something else, based on the knowledge of the Jiva. He doesn't project some gaga boo boo there, he projects only a snake, and we'll say why also. And this is therefore we can distinguish Avidya and Maya. Avidya is localized with respect to the Jiva at individual levels, and the total Avidya of all things put together, you can call it from point of the Ishvara. Since he doesn't have Avidya, he only has the Maya to project it. So you say Ishvara Shakti, but he is Sarvajnaha. Since he is going to create it, he should have all the knowledge of everything. So Maya we can make it as a Samishti, as a Ishvara Shakti, and Avidya is the Jiva, because of which he suffers that I am a Jiva, and so on and so forth. Ishvara doesn't suffer that I am only Ishvara. He has a knowledge. He is a Sarvajnaha, Sarva Vyapakaha, and the knowledge of not only the Paravidya is also knowledge of Aparavidya. So the Sarvajnatvam includes both the knowledge of the higher and lower for the Ishvara. So Ishvara is not deluded. So that's what we want. So with that, we finished in terms of what is Avidya. Now the question is to remove the Avidya, to remove the ignorance, we need a knowledge. Only knowledge alone can remove. If Avidya or the ignorance is the root cause for the samsara, for the basis of the whole life, because when I do not know who I am, I take myself what I am not, Vikshepa, and therefore I commit all sorts of things. So dharma, adharma, the merits, demerits, and punyam, papam, and therefore the life after birth, life goes on next, and all that. Interestingly, some American lady went to the Kanchi Kamakoti, the Acharya, and confronted him and said, "Sir, can you prove that there was a last birth?" Well, so we know, because they believe only in this birth, but not last birth. But they believe future birth though. So it's a what you call semi-infinite model. So they didn't know what, they don't have past, but they have future. Future depends upon whether you believe in Jesus or not. So if you believe in Jesus, you go to future, we will be in the heavens. And if you don't believe in Jesus, you go into hell, eternal hell, not, you won't come back again. So that's what their problem is. So it's they don't have, they have one way incarnation. In which either you go to hell or heaven. Someone, a teacher, thermodynamics guy, asked students, can you prove the hell is an exothermic system or an endothermic system? Exothermic system is where the energy, heat is coming out. That's an exothermic system. Endothermic system is heat is absorbed. That's called endothermic system. No, that's in the thermodynamics, you know, some reactions are exothermic, some reactions are endothermic. And he wants to prove whether hell is an endothermic or exothermic system. So one fellow went and thought about it and came back and it is an exothermic system. So how do you prove it? He says, according to any religion, those who believe in that religion do not go to hell, but everybody else will go to hell. So everybody is heading towards the hell only. That from that religion. From the other people religion, this fellow is also going to hell. So from the point of total all the religions put together, everybody is only heading towards hell only, because by their process, this is going, for other people process, he is also going. So everybody is going to hell. And hell is limited by the heaven and earth, because by each mutual exclusion, one limits the other. So hell is a limited entity and everybody is getting packed in that place, and when you pack too many things, then it gets heated up. So it is an exothermic system. Well, that was here the good logic anyway. But the point essentially is the life itself is based on the avidya janita karmam. So not only the ignorance, but ignorance generates identification that I am this and this, and because of the identification I do karmas, and the karma will be punya karma and papa karma, and therefore it leaves me in impressions of likes and dislikes or vasanas, and that because of that I will be born again to exhaust those vasanas, taking appropriate body conducive to exhaust those vasanas, and again I commit in the process, if I am having a human birth or a birth where I have a willpower, then again I accumulate more. So you have a total sanchita karma, then I bring something to exhaust in this life, taking a particular body to exhaust those particular karmas, and appropriate body conducive to exhaust, and then that's called prarabdha karma, and I accumulate more if I have a will to do, and in the process I accumulate and either I exhaust in this life or put into my account, because nothing is, it's called the Chitragupta. Chitragupta is a secret encoder. He makes sure everybody's account is perfect, and you are accountable for your vasanas, and you have to be born in an environment that is conducive for those vasanas. So punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam, jatari sayanam. So life after life after life you have been spending. The fact that you have life, because of this life you have, shows that you had a past life. Why? Because of that vasanas only you are born in a particular environment. So this lady asked, says, sir, how do you prove that there was a previous birth? She wants to know. So I found that Acharya did not hear or did not bother to answer, because he was not sure whether she's really asking just for asking sake or she's really serious. So second day again she came and asked. He did not answer. When the third day came, he decided this lady must be serious and said, if you want to know, then there is a maternity, there is a hospital close by, and you go there, there is a maternity ward. You stay there for 3 days, observe everything what's going on, and come back and ask this question. That's what he said. And people are thinking, what has that to do with the rebirth, and to prove or not to prove, and the going to a maternity ward. Anyway, she went because she wants to know what this is all about. How does the maternity ward help? She stayed there in 3 days, observed everything, came back to Swamiji, put Shastanga Namaskaram, says, thank you sir, I got the answer. The reporter was waiting for this, how did you get answer? Where did you get? I also was there and nothing happened. And she explained now, because when I went there, I saw some babies being born, and there was a big parties and a lot of people coming with a lot of gifts for the baby, and the baby was almost like in the luxury of everybody, and everybody is giving a lot of presents, and he maybe doesn't know what even present is, but he is getting all this. All that is given, and that's what I saw. And I also saw another small baby. He is in a family where only friends, relatives, few people came, congratulated, gave little bit gifts, and it's a mediocre. The baby was received enough with the proper love and so on. Then I also saw that the mother is there delivering, no father, nobody, and mother somehow struggled, and the baby was waiting, and at last in the night the husband came, wanted to see. Then I asked him, what happened to you? Where were you? He said, I was working hard, and we don't have any money, so I was working all the time to make sure that I have enough money to pay for this hospital expense. So he was struggling hard. There was nobody else other than him and his wife, and anyway he was happy that he had a baby and happy that he could cover the costs, and that was the baby in that family. Then I also saw police bringing one lady, and she was a beggar, and somehow they delivered it, and they left the baby, and this one, no one to take care, not even proper attention to the baby. And then I realized that some babies are born with a golden spoon, some with a silver spoon, some with the plastic spoon, some with no spoon at all. These disparities, if the babies have not done anything, why do they deserve this? They have not done anything in this world because they are just born. That means there must be a cause, and that must be in the past life why they are born in a particular environment. So there must be the existence of this life, and the disparities in the lives of people when they are born themselves is a proof that there must be a cause for this. So cause-effect relationship. So same way, when you kick the bucket, that means when you pass, that you are accountable for all the actions. You may say the local law may be escaped, you may escape the local law and enjoy a lot of things, but the action and the dharmic versus adharmic will not leave you. You have to bear the consequence of those actions. So therefore, there is both two ends you have problem, otherwise you unaccountability, and therefore it's logical that life is a continuous cycle. But this is because of avidya. So what happens if I have vidya? Once I gain the vidya, avidya is removed, that means I know who I am, then what happens? Then there is no more rebirth. Why is that? Because I realize that I am akartaham, abhoktaham, ahameva, ahamavya. I am never a doer. Body, mind and intellect was doing all the time. Prakriti evacha karmani kriyamanani sarvasaha. All the actions are done by the Prakriti only, Krishna declares. But I unnecessarily go and claim that this is mine and that's yours and so on, and claim yours also as mine if it is a goody thing. That's why people employ a lot of people and they take all the benefits of the success, leaving nothing for the people who really work for it. So Krishna calls them thieves, and they have to suffer separately because they will be subject to same thing later. So this cause-effect relationship, dharma and adharma and life are absolute truths, and that's what the Hindu scriptures call it. Chitragupta, he puts in a secret code that nobody can eliminate that secret code or open the secret code and change it, because that's secret. And Gupta, that's why it's called Chitragupta. Gupta is also secret. Chitra means a code. So codes are kept by him, and that codes is nothing but vasanas and the mind itself. So every body, every account is crystal clear. So there's a famous story that two friends were going every day, and they are very close friends. At some point they diverge. One fellow goes towards the temple and does puja and all night, and the other fellow goes to the brothel and enjoys whatever way he thinks. And again they come back. This is happening every day. At last, and the whole town knows that. So at last, when they both died, then the guy who was going to brothel went to heavens, whereas the guy who went to the temple was going to the hell. And whereas there's a big procession and people are respecting the body of the person who was going to the temple. He was a Mahatma, he's a great Bhakta and all that. So there was a big procession and decoration and honor and all that for that body. Whereas the other body, fellow died, he was a rotten guy going to brothel all the time, and body is rotten, so nobody really bothered with the body, thrown away, and it got deteriorated by itself. But the mind, when the five was going to brothel, he went to heaven, whereas the guy who was going to the temple was going to the hell. So there was a protest fellow, why am I going here? Why am I? They look at Chitragupta, look his account, and says, my accounts are perfectly clear. Why? Because the fellow who was going to the temple while doing puja, his mind is always, my friend is enjoying in the brothel, and imagining all the enjoyments that his friend is doing sitting in the temple. Body is in the temple, mind is in the brothel. Where the fellow in the brothel is sitting there, body is in the brothel, but he's thinking about, oh, my friend will be doing this puja and that puja. So he's reveling in the puja. Mind is reveling in the puja, and whereas the body is reveling in that place, whereas the other fellow body is in the temple, but the mind is somewhere else. So mind went to heaven. So depending upon, body got their dues, because the fellow who went to the temple was body is honored, fellow went to brothel, that body is not honored. Whereas the mind of a brothel guy, because he was in really temple, so he was honored there in the heavens, whereas the guy who was in the temple mind, who was in the brothel, so he was in the, so accounts are body accounts and the mind accounts, everything is perfectly taken care of. That is the story. To make sure that not only you do physically, mentally involve yourself in the dharmic action by manasa, vacha, karmana. So by all that's called arjavam. What I think, what I feel, what I do, or straight line, what I speak, or that's called arjavam, straightforwardness. And that's why I call Arjuna. Arjuna is very straightforward. That's why Gita Upadesha is given to Arjuna, not for Dharmaraja even. It is for Arjuna, because Arjuna is much more straightforward and honest, and therefore the Krishna gives, in fact, he is a more prepared mind for the Gita Upadesha. But anyway, so that the attitude of the mind becomes important. So when I know that what is required, how do I know? At Vigyan Artam sa Gurumeva Abhigachet Samit Panihi Sotriyam Brahmanishtam. You go to a teacher and learn. Who is the instructions to the mind? Body, of course, accompany. You cannot send the mind alone and body somewhere else. So mind, body, everything has to be there in the place for him to learn. So physically has to be there, but mentally also has to be there. Otherwise, physically you will be sitting and mentally somewhere else, nothing will happen. So you won't get any knowledge. Knowledge has to be through mind only. So when that particular mind learns, then the ajnana in that mind, that means the ajnana rests with the mind, and therefore that ajnanam, that means ignorance, is removed, and he becomes a realized person. So now let's talk about the knowledge, because knowledge is the one that removes. What is the knowledge? How do you gain knowledge? And we just talked a little bit about it, but knowledge is called prama. Prama means the valid knowledge. There is no invalid knowledge. Knowledge is always a valid knowledge. So, but there is a false knowledge, thinking that it is real. So that is called Brahma. Brahma means a falsified knowledge that is falsified later. That's called Brahma. So I thought that is true, but it's not true. I was deluded. That's what you will say. And therefore, there is a Prama and a Brahma. Prama is knowledge, and Prama has to be gained through Pramana. Pramana is means of knowledge. So knowledge has to be obtained through a Pramana, a means of knowledge. And for the mind. Mind is, of course, implied in all this. And it's the mind that has to gain the knowledge through a Pramana. and prama means valid knowledge, and prameyam means the object of knowledge. So if I want to know chemistry, chemistry becomes prameyam, that is the object of knowledge, and I need to know. How do I know chemistry? By studying chemistry. The process of studying, approaching a proper teacher, of chemistry teacher who knows, and through communication, through vritti jnanam, I gain the knowledge. So we have now prama, pramana, and prameyam. Prameyam is object, and pramana is a means of knowledge. Prama is a valid knowledge. And the fellow who learns, we call it, that mind is called pramata. Pramata is the one with a subject who is learning, is called pramata. Pramata, prameyam, pramanam, prama. All the four aspects involved. Now, what are the means of knowledge? Pramanam. So according to the Advaita, there are 6 means of knowledge, and other philosophers give different number, and most everybody zeroes in at least there is a minimum 3, and that we will emphasize, that is pratyaksha pramanam, anumana pramanam, shruti pramanam. These are the 3 important. Then in the Advaita there is a division upamana, then arthapatti, anupalabdhi. So 3 more praman, total 6 pramanams according to Advaita. And Advaita may follow some of the Mimamsaka positions also here. So now the pratyaksha pramanam is called direct and immediate, and also the through the mind and senses. So according to the tradition, as tradition is following the Mimamsa position, Advaita tradition follows the Mimamsa position. According to the Mimamsa position, how does the knowledge takes place? It takes place the mind along with the 5 senses, depending upon their degree of the perfection, and it goes to the object, engulfs the object, and the senses gather the attributes of the object and give that information to the mind, and the mind, based on the attributes of the object and the object that it sees, and how a vritti form, vritti means a thought in the mind is formed about the object. So if I see a chair there's a chair thought in my mind. How does it come? Because my sense of sight is grasp the object and the form of the object, color of the object through the eyes. There is no sound from the eyes, but if the sound, then ears have to be there, sense of hearing has to operate. So all that bring the information and gives it to the mind. Mind integrates that and forms a vritti. Vritti is a thought in the mind. This much we know. Then how does the knowledge takes place? Knowledge takes place because the mind itself is enlivened entity. That means it has a borrowed consciousness, and that consciousness also falls on the all-pervading consciousness, also falls on the vritti, thought that rises in the mind. A perturbation of the mind is called vritti, and it illumines the vritti, and it gets reflected by the vritti, and the reflected consciousness from the vritti as though joins with the consciousness that I am, for me to be conscious of the existence of the vritti with its attributes. That means attributes consists of attributes to the object, and by that way I know this object because I know this vritti. The vritti corresponds to the object that I perceive, and therefore knowing the vritti is knowing the object, because the object with those vrittis is what recognize, and the vritti is in the mind, object is outside, but that outside is also part of the vritti jnanam comes in, because the object is there 10 feet away from me. From this distance I can see a chair there. it is a little bit far away from me. This other chair is close to me. All this closeness, spatial coordinates, and that is also gain. So according to the tradition, the mind goes there along with the senses, grasps the object, brings the information to the mind by the senses, and that forms a vritti, a thought in the mind, and thought is illumined by the consciousness that the subject that I am, for me to be conscious of the vritti, or therefore conscious of the object out there. This is the process of the knowledge takes place. That's called pratyaksha pramana. Because the mind goes very fast, according to that, it's faster than anything else, and you can sit here and think you are in America. So mind is already traveled in America, faster than any aeroplane anywhere. So in fact, one of the Yaksha Prasnas, Yaksha asked Dharmaraj several questions, of which he asked, one of the questions is, what is the fastest thing in the world? And he says, the mind. And that was Dharmaraja's, Yudhishthira's answer to one of the Yaksha Prasnas. And also he asked, what is the wonder of all wonders? That one of the Yaksha Prasnas. And the Yudhishthira replies, the greatest wonder in the world is people see people, they think beings are born, because every day, every minute some birth is going on. And people see also that somebody is dying everywhere, somewhere, continuously. So death is occurring, birth is occurring. And the people are born are the ones who are ultimately die. So this is, he sees everything all the time, yet he thinks he is going to live here permanently. So this is the wonder of all wonders. So if you think you are going to live here permanently, remember the Dharmaraja's statement, you are just born and going to die one day. That's the law. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvan janma mritasya cha. So according to Krishna makes statement in second chapter, whatever born has to die. That's a law. So therefore, but ajo nityam shashvatoyam purano nahanyati anyamani sharire. But you are not the body, so you are not born. So you are ajaha, nityaha, eternal. So don't think that you are going to die. Body, whatever is born has to die. Body is born, therefore body dies. But you are never born. No, I was not born. I thought I was born on such a day. By associating with the body, you think you are born. But ajo nitya shashvat oyam purano nahanyati hanyamani sharire. So whole Upadesha starts with that. Says, you are natvevaham jatunasam natvam nemi janadipaha nachaiva nabhavishyamaha sarve vayam ataparam. There was never a time I was not there, never a time you were not there, never a time. So within the time span, everybody was there. And then why are you crying? Therefore, you are asochan anusochatvam prajnavadam sabhashate gata asona gata samcha nanusochanti pandita. People, panditas don't cry for whether for those who are born or for those who are going to die or who died. Because Arjuna was crying because he is going to kill the Bhishma and Dronacharya. So he says nobody gets killed. Nahanyati hanyamane sharire. They don't get killed when the body gets killed. So there is no reason for you to cry. Therefore, you are crying for no reason for you to cry. And Panditas don't cry for all this. If you are a Pandita, you talk like a Pandita. Because that's why you are talking as the whole philosophy in the first chapter. And Panditas are who have the knowledge of the absolute truth, they do not cry. So therefore, what is born, what is dying, all that has to be clear. And the mind that goes and forms a vritti, and that's all the knower, known, and knowing process occur in the mind. And who is the mind? The subject-object duality both rise in the mind, and I am a knower. So if this is a pot, I see, and this is a pot, and I know this is a pot. So spontaneously the knowledge that this is the pot arises as soon as the vritti arises, because vritti also is reflected by consciousness. Any reflection of the consciousness becomes the knowledge of that object that is getting reflected. With that, we'll continue how knowledge takes place and how the Atma Jnanam has to occur, and what is the nature of the result of the Atma Jnanam compared to result in the Anatma Jnanam. We'll stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.